A very warm welcome to you. It's early August and we're going to look at what happened in my stock portfolio in the last month. Start video. Always, these are the 5 topic areas we're going to cover today. Let's start off with the value and run rate. So my portfolio was previously valued just under 43,000. We've now got ourselves up to a fantastic figure of almost 45,000. So of course, this is all in the context of my long-term goal. And this is all in the context of my £1 million goal for the portfolio. I'm looking to try and get there by 2050, and I think getting there slowly is a safer way to do it. Now, in order to get there safely and by 2050, I need to be on approximately £46,000 by the end of this year, and I'm currently on around about £45,000, and of course I'm adding in £300 a month. So very much on track to hit that stretch target, get to the number by 2050. Compared to the last month, the portfolio is £2,000 exactly higher in value. That's £300 worth of deposit, the standard minimum monthly deposit, and £1,700 increased performance, whether that be dividends or increase in the market prices of the companies. A fantastic month, in fact a very good 2 months. And where that leaves me is that on this journey, and that we're taking together, I'm sharing with you, 9.62% per year to get there by the start of 2050, which is 0.08% lower than it was the previous month. I started off needing around about 6.66% and 10% depending on the deadline. I've got that 10% down to 9.62. I want to keep chipping away at that and make this easier, more realistic to get to. Quick shout out to 3 gentlemen who are supporting the channel through Patreon. If you'd like to join that investor community, discuss stock ideas, get involved, I'd very much welcome your presence in the group. We also have a Discord server for a bit of chat as well. So on to the dividends, and it's been a quiet month on the dividend front. The largest dividend is Banco ZK, almost £16, which is almost half the dividend received within the month. Also contributions from Duke Royalty, US Bancorp, that's 500. Alpha Met Resources and Kelly Partners. That's around about £34 of income in the month into the accounts. So what do I do in the month? And I'm very much trying to minimise transactions, be as boring as possible, keep those fees low and not add an increasing number of positions. In fact, I want to decrease the number of positions. Now, I haven't sold anything in month. I haven't bought anything new either. I've just added to 2 existing positions. My usual monthly investment into Fundsmith under Terry Smith. And I've added to my Somero position. Somero is a company that looks very unlikely to fail and has some high quality metrics. And I've taken advantage to increase the position size as the market rated the company a bit lower in the last month. So where does that leave the portfolio looking after this very good month of performance? This is the structure of the portfolio. The quality company section, the largest section at 11,500, and then followed by dividend and managed. And we get to unclassified, which is companies I've previously purchased that no longer fit my strategy going forward. And then a bit of cyclicals. That cash position there in the top left, 9,000. Bigger than I'd want it to be, but I haven't found anything compelling to deploy large quantity of that so far. If you've got some ideas, I'd love to hear them in the comments, please. Please share it in the community if you've got good, solid investment ideas that fit this strategy. Quality companies, dividends, bit of cyclical, and a bit of protection against wide increments, which is the managed funds, managed by others. Let's go through the performance of every single holding, full transparency, and to keep myself honest, really, keep myself accountable to myself, so I've got a clear view. Even if I wasn't sharing this, it'd be a good thing to do. I'll have a clear view to myself as what's been happening over time and what's happening month to month. Start off with the quality section, which is 26% of the portfolio. Now, Banco's okay, one of my largest holdings, up very well this month. I think it's up around about 30% over the last 2 months. It's an 80% total return, £2,300. Very happy to continue holding this company. Dropbox has stayed pretty level. 3% of the portfolio, certainly not a position size that I want to increase. Good month for Google. That's now up 37%, over £1,000, so about 2.5% of the portfolio in the short time that I've held. Great month for Adobe as well. Again, not held for very long, less than a year, up 35% on that already. About 2% of the portfolio. Unilever, very solid, one of my first ever stock purchases, all back in about 2013, 2014, I think it was. Sitting there at 2% of the portfolio, a nice 100% return. Great month there for Williams Sonoma, so these quality companies really driving the portfolio forward this month. And for Elevance, a very solid month and overall return in 3 or so years. You can't hear it, but there is a lot of wind outside. You've got a storm here in England, so you can hear it. Apologies, but the microphone setup should be good enough to stop that coming through. Skyworks, yeah, happy with that holding. And InMode has had a pretty good couple of months as well. Kelly Partners, fairly steady at the moment, but a good return in a couple of years. Berkshire Hathaway, 3 years, 82%. One of the regrets was not buying a bigger initial position for a company of this magnitude, this importance, of this quality. A bit of a negative month for Amex, but very happy with that holding in general and in the long term. Temero's got a bit bigger, and it's had a very good month actually, so the total return is getting back towards the level. Pretty static for Visa, just under 1% of the portfolio. A company I would like to add to if there's a further substantial drop in price. So now onto the dividend part of the portfolio, which is about 1/5 of the portfolio. Biggest one is Unum, absolutely cracking turn again, held this for probably just under 3 years, 150% that time for what is a very boring insurance company. These are my favourite types of purchases. Viva sort of plodding along at the moment, £1,336 value, about 3% of the portfolio. And for those of you of a certain age, you might be disappointed that's not 1,337. Legal in general, pretty similar to Viva. Content to hold this position size, again about 3% of the portfolio. And a great month for Investec, 33 points. That's a nice long-term dividend play. Carry on holding that. Good month for US Bancorp. That is now basically level. 14 points up, 1% of the portfolio. This is a company that is a prime candidate for removing from the portfolio. I'll be looking at that very closely. And if I get out of it net of fees around about 0, I'll probably take that. I was actually up a bit further than that a couple of years ago, not anchoring to the previous price, so I'd expect that to be sold in the next month. Nice dividend play on City of London. That entire return is actually from dividends in 3 years. BT, a little bit frustrated because I was about 70% up on that a while back. Held them for 3 years, now down at 13%. It's not in my top company, so it is one that I'll sell. I'm just trying to work out whether to wait because the market's underrated at the moment. And if it pushes up a bit, then sell, whether to sell now. There's no point thinking selling now, so just go into the cash pot, and the cash pot is already 20% of the portfolio and doing nothing. It is a prime candidate for sale. Last 500 is, I'm feeling, underrated by the market considering the performance and beats they can keep putting through. Lots of dividends and buybacks happening there as well. Good month for Duke. And Direct Line's on the way back. Hopefully they'll bring their dividend back at some point. That should cause a big spike in the market price. So that was the dividend performance. Now everyone's managed by others. Around about a fifth of my money. It's protection against my failure. 200 is the largest holding. It's about 4% of my portfolio. Fundsmith there, the second largest, unsurprisingly. I'm adding to that every month at the moment. The FTSE 250, the UK mid to smaller companies. Oh, that's a typo on S&P 500. I've added an extra digit there. That should only be 389, I believe. Apologies for that. So unclassified companies. About a tenth of my money, and I certainly wouldn't be buying these now if they came across my desk, but I didn't have this strategy in place when I did buy them. So I will be looking to sell all of them in due course, but I'm not just going to sell them for the sake of selling them. Alibaba, fantastic month, up 12 points, still almost a third down on that one. And it's a very large part of the portfolio there, looking like 5% or so. So when it does get back to parity, and I really do believe it will, we're looking at kind of 8%, and it's too much in a company like this for me. So when that total return gets back to level and up a little bit, I'll be selling the whole position. Also recently released results, we need to have a really good look at those. Yeah, it's still down about a third on that one. I think that's for Cumulus. In fact, over the last couple of months, it's certainly up over 30 percentage points over the last 2 months. Disappointed with S4, now down 50%. And I was level on that several months ago. And a mistake on my part because it didn't fit strategy, so I should have sold it in full. Could have got out with no loss. And now look where we are, a few months later, down 50%. I need to be a bit more disciplined there. I kind of, there was a couple of days window where I could have sold it and not lost money on it. And these next two have been absolutely appalling investments. Thankfully they didn't fit strategy going forward, so hopefully I'll avoid these sort of mistakes again. Finally, the cyclicals. AML, the coal company, are doing very, very well and released good results again post this pack that I've pulled together, so it'll be even higher hopefully next month. They're doing really well. And the coal company Ramaco, fantastic month. This is actually in part because they've issued B shares. So they split the company, so you've got the same number of shares which are now A shares, and the additional bonus B shares issued, which have done pretty well in the market. So 1% of the portfolio and doing very nicely. And last but not least, Ethereum. High quality companies have done really well for my portfolio. If you want to boost the returns in your portfolio, there's some general guidance available. How to look for those high quality companies. Click here, you'll find that general guidance, and it could hopefully help you boost your returns.